and start with Joel. Where do you think you are on that data modernisation journey, Joel? Where do you see yourself at the moment?
Pretty nascent, to be honest. I mean, we're like everyone undergoing a digital transformation. We've got a program around it. We're not allowed to give it that name or any name, but you know, we're on a digital transformation program. I moved on to it specifically to drive the data agenda, because from where I was sat within a data and analytics team in an IT department of an organization of 10,000 people, we were just going to be, you know, slinging stuff from the periphery and it's just going to bounce off. So how do you start to drive that stuff, you know, right in to drive change in the organization, is why I moved on to our transformation program. But it's early days. We're probably 6 months in. We're defining the data governance work stream. You know, we're starting to try and get real senior acceptance that we need data owners, and not just we need lip service to that. Really, we want to be changing people's job descriptions and putting those accountabilities front and center so that people are thinking about it. I'm not sure we're quite there yet. So we're somewhere between some early ideas on what we need to do and starting to make that happen.
Great. And Graham, what about you? Where are you on your modernisation journey?
Interesting. So I think we talked about earlier about, you know, what does data modernisation mean, and there's different constituent parts, and I think actually we all resoundingly said it's about the people, and I think the people is sort of two sides to it, which is there's the data team and the range of data professionals you have in a data team, and making sure that that you know, they're modernised in terms of the skill sets they've got and their way of thinking, the way of operating, but also your stakeholders. And never mind, you know, I could sit here and say, tick, we've done the platform, great. Actually, tick, we've got a really good data team. And, you know, I think a bit like Joel's comment again, actually, I don't think you're ever really finished. And so I think we're probably still, because we've got good foundations, we started, you know, 2 years ago, whilst we weren't digital first, we're still a relatively new business. We moved to sort of, you know, digital in terms of, you know, transacting, lots of great process behind the scenes, very little manual, all automation. And actually, you know, we can answer questions with data and insight. So whilst in one hand I feel like we're quite far along, I compare it with the fact that I spent 17 years at the AA, who are a very mature organisation, who are very mature in their use of data and analytics, and therefore I know that we're only just scratching the surface. And so my view would be, we've not saying we've got a long way to go, we're still quite immature. That doesn't mean that we're not doing good things, but we're just quite immature in where we are on that scale of exploiting and using the data, and also making sure, I think, to some of the earlier points, that which is where the people side becomes important. So, you know, when you put in a new system somewhere, that actually it's the people that communicate and collaborate to tell the data team that there's a new system. Yeah, because I spread my team into all the other sort of projects, but it's quite thin. I need to know that you're creating something and that's creating data, and do you want that? You need to get it into their mindset. They don't even ask the question. They almost arrive at your front door and say, here's some data, here's an API, here's an endpoint. You can get data out of this, and this is when it's going to go live. Not someone asks me to do the analysis and I go, where's that data? And they go, it's in that new system. It's been alive for about a year. Can I get data out of it? No. Do you know what I mean? You know, that's the bad old days. That's the unmodernized estate. You know, I want to be in the modernized world where the people talk to each other and share, and also that we as a data team can share back to the people inside the company as to why data is important. So we do the sort of, you know, all hands, where I stand up and I talk about data products and things that we've built and why they're interesting, and we do a data quiz, you know, to try and get people to remember us. You know, because there's no point getting them to remember us because I shout at them a lot because they did rubbish, you know, implementation and didn't tell us about data. That's not going to, you're not going to win any friends or any prizes. Actually, you've got to bring them along with you by, you know, having some fun with them sometimes. You know, that's the best way to get change with those sort of things.
Yeah, Graham, I'd absolutely echo that. I think getting senior stakeholders to change the way that they think about what data can do for them and the organisation, that's a I mean, there's all sorts of things we can do from the centre and from the bottom up, but actually just changing that thinking from the top down is a real, that's it. If not a generation, we're a decade away from that probably.